open, well, today's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Adige, and with me, as usual, are the ladies. Obiajulu Ugbo, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Your hair is calling my name.
Please, let it call your name. I need to sell market. Yes. I'm grateful to God. I have worked hard. Even me, myself, I know. I will pat my back.
We follow parts.
You have worked hard.
Yes.
You know, we finally wrapped up yesterday.
Oh,
yeah, been on set. My amazing crew and cast, they were wonderful.
I do well.
We did well. 39 episodes.
Wow.
Of the series, yes. All in
That's
Pidgin
2
English.
seasons.
3 seasons actually.
Wow.
It was back-to-back work, and everybody just came with their A game. I'm feeling like a proud producer right now. You know how we go. And I'm looking forward to amazing work because we'll still continue post-production afterwards.
Yes,
the
so
editing,
this is just
the
first
sound.
part.
Yeah, this is just the first part. Everybody goes home, and then we continue the other aspects of the job. Yes, but I need this weekend to rest. I want to rest. After the show now, I'll go to a spa. I do my massage. I go home. I eat pepper soup. I lie down. I'm lying down today, Saturday, Sunday on the bed, rolling back and forth. I will extend it on Monday. I'll resume on Tuesday. I'm begging the producer. I'll resume on Tuesday. Back to back.
Nice.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Hard work. It's not easy. Amatu?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. We've been producing and all. Then the day before yesterday rain was just something else. My car, in fact, is at the mechanic. Honestly, it was
water entered.
Yes, water entered, and of course, refused to start. So it's at the mechanics. They are fixing it, and all. And then my PA is at home. My daughter, she just finished JSS 3, so I'm enjoying myself with her around. She has been following me around. She even came here with me, and also she has been my tail everywhere, so I'm having fun.
Oh, but I feel so bad about the car matter. I really,
Yeah.
I don't know anyone, but I've seen those videos, and I'm like, hey, God, people that their car now, they'll have to take it to mechanic.
People.
Now I'm like, someone close is actually experiencing the same thing. It's so sad.
Terrible.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You didn't swim? You didn't push I did something brave enough for yesterday. Yeah.
As in, yesterday, I wanted to do some run around like on the mainland and then Balogun Market, but then I felt it drizzled a bit, and I said, no, I'm not going to. Yes, I'm not even going to try myself. I don't want to be in the market, and then that happened.
Amaka, you should not be entering the market.
Yeah?
Balogun Market.
Yes,
Amaka fresh.
Yes, there's something.
No, now you're too fresh for Balogun Market. Please stop it.
I'm very particular about certain things. So there's certain there's a certain stuff that we're looking for, and I wanted to have sent my people, and they're telling me they're not getting it. So I want to use my 2 leg and enter there and go and see that thing that they said they've not seen. Well, I'm happy it's Friday. It's been a long week because I wasn't around and came back and stuff. So yeah, I'm happy. So.
Well, me, I'm very grateful. I have a lot of reasons to lament about yesterday's traffic and also lament about the fact that, but I am extremely, when I say grateful, because I checked the weather forecast on Wednesday and Thursday, and it said 95% chance of rain on Wednesday and 50% on Thursday. I said, Thursday, I'm going to go into the site. Even if rain beats me, I will shall go to the site. And I woke up in the morning, and it was cloudy, but it didn't rain. And then I went to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, no rain. As I left on my way back to Lagos, the rain was so heavy that I had to tell my driver, I said, pull over. Let's just wait, because we could not even see. The wiper was working. I'm just so grateful that God, I asked my Father in heaven that loves me specially, and He held the rain just enough for me to generate the necessary content I wanted to do across all the sites and see what was going on. And on our way back, we experienced bad flooding on the Beniore Road around Shagamu. It was so bad. We went to take a bypass. It was terrible road. And I just had to just sit down and say, even though the road is bad, I'm grateful that I was able to achieve my goal, because some people were stuck in traffic. They probably couldn't achieve their goals. And through it all, let's just be grateful. You have car. The car is in water. Thank God you have car. Your house has more water. Thank God you have a house. Whichever way, let's find a way to really thank God for this Friday that we are alive. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll go through the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. So we're starting off the front page review with The Nation. Major headline, not existing, because somebody took off all the entire page to talk about the Ministry of Works and the work they are doing. Anyway, Tinubu injects 2 trillion naira to stimulate economy. Edu, health, agriculture, power generation gets priority. In other news, court voids Edo PDP primary. Court affirms Amowile's 24 others as Rivers lawmaker, and Lagos pensioners get 4.5 billion naira. So, which is the, are we starting with the good news of those getting the pension? Are we doing?
Let's start with the good news.
Okay.
Always the good news, because my mother is a pensioner. They are still struggling with theirs. So for Lagos State, they are doing a great thing. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has paid another 4.5 billion to 2,000 retirees in the 105th and last retirement bond certificate presentation. The governor, during the 103rd presentation of bond certificates, promised to settle all arrears and current pension liabilities in the public sector by the middle of the year, and he has fulfilled that promise yesterday.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Good one. This implies the government owes no outstanding pension benefits, and civil servants will henceforth get their full pension benefits and gratuity immediately after retirement. The governor also launched a special health insurance scheme for all living retirees who serve the state. He's doing so well. Yes. They also started an initiative of pay as you go, so that immediately you retire, you receive all your pensions. They have strategically prioritized clearing all backlogs of accrued rights payments to ensure all retirees enjoy dignity and financial stability. The governor of Lagos State also was the first to embrace contributory pension scheme when it began in 2004, noting that the government has paid over 141 billion naira to over 35 retirees to date. He said that these funds, along with their monthly contributions, have already been remitted to their accounts with the Pension Fund Administration. So that's a good one, Lagos State. You're doing so well.
Yes, this is good, and we're hoping other states would comply. You cannot work so hard for your state and be a civil servant, and this is how you're getting paid back, where you don't get your gratuity at the right time.
Yes, so the federal government has injected 2 trillion into the economy to stimulate it. It was unveiled by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yesterday as part of an accelerated stabilization and advancements plan. Their target is to revive the economy in the short term. So he presented the plan while inaugurating the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, PECC, at the State House. And the 30-member committee was also constituted March 27th. So the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, was the one who told the reporters that the emergency funding will be deployed to health, agriculture, energy, power, and other critical sectors. And he says the outcome of that very important exercise is a 2 trillion package involving 350 billion funding for health and social welfare, 500 billion funding for agriculture and food security, 500 billion for energy and power sector, and general business support of about 650 billion. In addition to a range of policy and tax measures, there's also a range of executive orders which Mr. President has signed, and they are going to gazette it into ease of doing business to assist a lot of people with their businesses. There are many funding provisions to reduce the cost of interest rates for certain sectors, small and medium scale in particular, but also larger companies will also be a part of this. So it's just measures that they are putting in place to see how they can help people.
You know the way I want to attack that
You've tried to get a loan, right?
Because you will
it's not that easy.
It is not that easy. And there are policies being done every day by other agencies that do not make
to stifle it.
Now, if you want to post an advert on Instagram, you need to pay 35,000 naira to Akon.
If you want to put what?
Advert on Instagram. People, a real estate company has gotten fined for advertising without certification. And you're saying you want to make business easy because they sent me a bill that the signboard I put in front of my land is 2 million fine. Whoa. And you want to make business easy. So there are many other areas that... So we're not, there's no cohesion in making business.
Yes, there's no sync, no synergy.
Let me talk about another
business. Complained of the 30%.
It's too much.
Let's talk about the Uniben. Uniben has shut down their school indefinitely.
Wow. Because
they are owing so much money in terms of power to the Benin Energy Disco, BEDC. They said that they had to shut down because Benin Disco was sending them 80 million to 280 million monthly. So they reverted to running purely on a school decided to run purely on generator, and they started rationing, giving students only 1 hour of power supply
A day.
for the past 2 months.
Oh,
So students
how
now
would they
took to the
reach?
streets and complained that we cannot live off 1 hour power supply. And after the protest, that was how the Uniben spokesperson, Dr. Benedict Ehanire, said that the students, since they have said that unless they get power, they cannot they will not be in school, and they are causing traffic and everything. They've shut down the school. No educational activity, academic activity going on. Everybody go home. How does that solve
The
this problem long term? Because they've been on ASU strike before, and now they are on no power strike. Like, this financial injection, I don't know where it's going to go to, but there is a major crisis that needs to be concerted, unified efforts to solve the problem across board. I know you have a story.
Okay, so I have a story for the PDP's governorship primary. So they said the Federal High Court in Abuja has held that the February 22nd governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, which produced ASU Igodalo, is invalid. The Justice Yang Eko held that the PDP's decision to exclude 378 elected ward delegates from participating in the election was a violation of Article 50 of the party's constitution. The suit was filed on February 8 by Kelvin Mohammed, Gabriel Oski Okodua, and Ederaho Osagi for themselves and on behalf of the 378 ad hoc delegates whose names and election results appear on the exhibit. They said the February 4th Congress organized by the panel sent by the second defendant are legally entitled to be participants at the primary election of the second defendant to elect the governorship candidates. The justice also said that there is no doubt that the second defendant neither complied with the relevant provision of its constitution nor the electoral guidelines for its February 22nd primary. It is the law that political parties must obey their constitution, guidelines, and regulations. The PDP chairman, Dr. Tony Azegbemi, said the PDP is aware that certain elements who are scared of this soaring popularity of our candidate are going about peddling rumors that Igodalo's candidature has been nullified. He now said, let it be on record that Igodalo is the PDP flag bearer for the 2024 governorship election in Edo State.
They will go
the state's position also got the backing of the party's national body.
Okay.
So he ordered the members and supporters of the PDP and the good people of Edo State are enjoined to remain calm and ignore the antics of mischief makers as the falsity of their assertion will be made clear in the fullness of time and upon release of the actual judgment for public consumption.
I have fully declared I am for ASUE.
Are you for PDP?
I'm not for PDP. I'm not a party person. I'm non-partisan. I am person. I focus on the people, and for me, I'm ASUE all the way, ASUE Igodalo. So I'm waiting for all of this thing to resolve itself because we are going to Benin to go and vote for ASUE. Because you are
anyone that wins.
Anyone that wins.
The Punch is the next newspaper we'll be taking. We'll just read the headlines and then we'll take a break. 10 states battling flooding, 21 others at risk, federal government warns. The government fears cholera may worsen as Lagos, Abuja, others count losses. Flood kills pupil. Rivers to overflow in July. That's in Ondo, Kaduna, and 17 other states to be affected. Flood sacks 10 Ogo community as well. NPA launches tugboats to boost sport operations. Edo APC jubilation. PDP urges calm as court nullifies Igodalo's candidacy. Drivers bag 12-year jail for killing LASMA officer. SEC mandates Nigeria CEO, local office for crypto firm. And in other news, Labour heads for victory in UK exit poll. NNPC disagree as report puts petrol debt at $6 billion. Nigeria to host $5 billion Africa Energy Bank. And federal government's 2 trillion naira economic revival scheme inaugurates council. When we come back from the break, we will dive into the stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We are still going through the front pages of the paper and we're going to go through the Punch.
Yeah.
So who has what story?
I have the major headline, the flooding story. So the federal government yesterday said no fewer than 10 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, had earlier experienced various degrees of flooding or recorded casualties as the rains intensified. And the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, dropped a red alert during the press briefing in Abuja, and it's warning that 21 more states might suffer flooding. He said that, this, against the background of what happened on Wednesday, which grounded businesses and commercial activities in Lagos and also Ogun State. He says the resulting flooding brought down a 2-story building in the Mushin area of Lagos. Wow. I highlighted that yesterday. And overwhelmed residents, people were unable to attend schools in different parts of the state. Also, a child was swept away by the flooding in Ketu area of Lagos. Very sad story. And he says the flood outlook by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency that was released in April had predicted that 148 local government areas in 31 states fell within the high flood risk and areas. And the affected states included Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina and Kebbi, also Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, and Yobe. So I'm wondering which other state?
When you 21
That's all.
Which other one is left? Now he's warning that cholera might spread further, yes, because of the flooding that's going on. And, he's advising that people need to do what they need to do to be able to protect themselves. We talked about flooding yesterday and how we also expect the other agencies, aside from this particular one that, talks about the rain, to also come out and support so that we have seamlessness of movement on the streets. As the cars are parking, we have the last mile people towing, removing the cars,
even
clearing the road.
Express, because the traffic people blocked the road, because one side was blocked due to flooding, the next day everybody just moved to the next way and it was locked jam. But if imagine if they were not last month, because this is express, it might be FRSC on that road, it would have created a bit of ease of that traffic. It wouldn't have been a complete lockdown, so I think that's very good.
Nigerians, we should also help ourselves and have common sense. Like if one person moves, the other person can move.
Nigeria, our own problem. So
all right, so who has the good news about Nigeria to host?
I have the good news. Today, I picked all the good news. Nigeria has been granted the hosting rights for the $5 billion African Energy Bank. The federal government announced on Thursday. It said the right was granted during a virtual extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, adding that with the hosting rights, the bank would have its headquarters in Nigeria.
Awesome.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Henneken, who announced this in Abuja, said Nigeria emerged as the preferred host nation and stiff competition from Ghana, Benin, Algeria, South Africa, and Cote d'Ivoire. He also said that they want to especially thank the president who gave the full support to ensure that they get to this point where APPO has given them the hosting rights. He said that the biggest challenge that we have in Africa as oil-producing countries is funding. And so a short while ago, the Council of Ministers held a meeting and said that the time has come for Africans to find solutions to financing its own oil and gas investments, which is good. Based on that was how this idea was formed. He finally ended by saying that the president who approved the $100 million investment fund for Nigeria for Class A shares in the proposed African Energy Bank, as announced by the Federal Minister of Petroleum Resources at that time, also ensured in them winning this bid was to be able to host it. And so it's going to create jobs, it's going to open up and give more fundings to, and help the local content regulation. So that's really good. I like that.
Okay, so I have the story of the LASMA officer who was killed recently. They said the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja on Thursday convicted and sentenced the commercial bus driver Elijah Shokoya to 12 years imprisonment for killing an officer of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency. They said they convicted of knocking down Akimadi, that's the name of the LASMA guy, with a blue and black Opel Space bus with number plate AAA74GG while controlling traffic, and he suffered injuries to his head and body. They said the incident occurred at Demury Street Junction, Inward Mile 12. And this is stated that the offence contravenes Section 224 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015 and is punishable under Section 229. Justice Oyim Damola Ogala sentenced Shokoya after finding him guilty of the offence of manslaughter. I think the Lasma people
goes out
really
to the
need
Lasma official.
Yeah.
I know it is
the way they even jump into cars, the way they run after cars, they need to
even at that, because sometimes we don't listen to them. People don't listen to them, and whichever way, nobody should die in the line of their duty,
yes.
and their duty is to serve people, serve us. Because I didn't asking them to enter in and start clearing traffic for us now.
And they will not listen when they say stop.
And they will not
we must share the responsibility. I want to quickly take the story about NNPC disagreeing to the report that says our petrol debt has risen to $6 billion. Usually, the NNPC would, the tenders would be released for NNPC importation of petrol. And they said that we've been owing money, that the claims says that traders are no longer even willing to take tenders for petrol, that there was a report that as at earlier in the year, January, there were reports that there were late payments. I remember we had a bit of scarcity at a point in time, and they said it was because they had not paid. So right now, they said what is being owed has gotten to $6 billion, and that the only reason traders are putting up with the fact that they are being owed money is because there is a fine that for every month you delay payment, you will pay £250,000 for late cargo payment compensation. So they feel like, okay, if you're owing me money and every month you're paying $250,000, then I can still manage. But some people said that their threshold for debt to Nigeria has been hit, so they are no longer giving Nigeria petrol. When the Punch reporter reached out to the NNPC spokesperson, Olufemi Shoneye described it as false, and that he's challenging the people speaking about this to come out and list the names of marketers that they are supposedly owing money. We recollect that because we now have like a free-flow economy, it's supposed to be price going up and down, but people had complained that they cannot afford the petrol just going up and down. So the NNPC has capped it, and thereby putting a sort of like limit to what can be sold. Free markets is not free markets. That's really just free. It. So there's a lot of unspoken things that I'm sure if they dig deep, we will find things we don't want to see. Moving on to Sun. I just don't want to feel scarcity. I'm already dealing with plenty of things as it is. Daily Sun, major headline. Tinubu seeks Dangote, Elumelu, others help. Urge them to rescue Nigeria from economic stagnation. Unveils 2 trillion stabilization fund. And NNPC to establish 3 CNG station, 100 sites. In other news, Rivers coalition kicks as court reinstates pro-Wike lawmakers. Expect more river flooding. Federal government alert states and local government. Edo, we've taken that story about court voiding the PDP primary. Nigeria gets hosting rights, taking that story as well. Industrialization. Southeast governors, business leaders meet to partner Ohaneze on investments and hold federal government responsible for another strike in varsity from ASU. Many fear dead in 2-story building collapse in Anambra Market. What story are we taking first?
Okay, so the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on Nigerians, especially parents and students, to hold the federal government responsible if there's another round of strike declared in the public universities. They also said despite a series of promises made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address their demands, nothing has come out of it until today. And they are making a call. So they protested. They had a rally by the University of Lagos branch union, which also attracted support of other university students who, had a different placards, writing different inscriptions on it, saying that they need the federal government to do something and, listen to their lecturers so that they can go back to school. And they need Nigerians also to intervene before it's too late. So this is more like a call to even parents to say that if we close schools, then again, it's the federal government, it's not because we don't want to work, it's because we've had series of unfulfilled promises from the side of the government. They said they've started this discussion and letters back and forth since 2009, and the government has still remained insensitive to their demands. I want to quote something. It says, the struggle is not only for the ASU, but also for the university system. We no longer trust politicians. They promised and failed to fulfill. Don't blame the union for another strike. Hold the federal government responsible. Said they've been writing series of letters back and forth. I started comparing the salaries that National Assembly members are paid compared to what professors and university lecturers are paid. Say it doesn't make sense at all. The government needs to do something before they close down again. All right. So who has the industrialization story?
So Southeast Governors Forum, SEGF, and the Business Committee of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide are to unveil investment and industrialization plans for the region. Chief of the SEGF and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, disclosed this during a consultative meeting with members of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo Council of Igbo Business Leaders in Owerri, Imo State. The governor, who said that his state is ready for business and eager to receive investors with the requisite know-how and technology in gas exploration, said the move was aimed at making the zone investment haven. He also declared that the lofty objectives of the council, which include to identify young Igbo entrepreneurs and groom them towards mega business ventures, instituting a united and credible voice, capable of speaking for the business community in Igbo land, liaising with international, national, regional, and state agencies with a view of creating an enabling and conducive environment for investments in Igbo land were endorsed by the forum. I like where this is going, because with everything going on in the Southeast and stuff, this is a good one to encourage because the Igbos are in different parts of Nigeria, and they are helping the economy of other regions. To be nice to come back home and help the economy within the South.
Yeah, let's move on to Nigerian Tribune. Major headline: court verdict unsettled the Edo PDP reverse politics. And we have other stories. I'm trying to find what we haven't taken already. Ekiti State rates highest in 2023 IGR collection. Who has that story? And then Oyoban's vigil and late night church. Who has the Ekiti State story?
I have Ekiti. My mom is from Ekiti.
Okay. So you have to take that.
Let me hype them today. So Ekiti State has emerged top in proved internally generated revenue among the 36 states of the Federation, according to a recent report released during the week. In the report, it was circulated by the Joint Tax Board, JTB, and they had the 155th meeting at Zuma Rock Resort in Niger State. They said Ekiti ranked first in the 2023 annual growth rate ranking. The IGR increased from 17.03 billion in 2022 to 29.82 billion in 2023. That's a huge one, representing a 75% growth rate. So they said the improvement is attributed to enhanced reporting and significant growth in the IGR by the state. There's also good performance of the governor, Biodun Yebanji. They said also, I think they were able to still get a lot of taxpayers back into the net. They volunteered themselves to, pay the taxes, and that also was what moved it up. So they moved up from the 16th position to...
That's a huge leap.
I'm telling you,
huge
well done,
Well done, yes.
You said you have the story on...
No, the JAM, the JAM uncovers 3,000 fake students, 3,000 fake graduates, people using illegal certificates all over. Yes, so they said that people that they keep telling universities, educational institutions to stop admitting people, that if you're not on the platform, the CAP platform on their portal, then you do not have an admission. So we need to be wary about people we're employing.
You took the story. Yeah. You took the... they said they banned vigil in Oyo State.
Yes.
That
church vigil
because of kidnapping and all of that. Please let us pray in our house. Yes. God answers prayers everywhere. With that, we've come to the end of Front Page Review. When we return, we're going to the hot topic for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So a famous Nigerian actor, Ibrahim Chatta, had advised men to engage in polygamy if they want to enjoy in their old age. Several questions have arisen from this. Could this be insecurity on the part of the men, or could it be based on the trend they have seen of some men suffering in their old age. So you can join that conversation and give us your opinion by calling us on 0810-764-1679 or 090-241-63440. Or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect using hashtag YourViewTVC. BC is on YouTube, so she will take your comments if you are watching on YouTube as well. Here is a major... So there are pros and cons. Immediately I saw it as a jealousy person. I'm like, I don't want to share my husband even in old age. But the trend is, as people get, as people get older, women tend to go and do a lot of omugo. And the men are left alone while the women are going from one country to another country, taking care of different grandchildren as they are born. So Baba is now spending his old age alone, when if he had somebody else take care of him, he wouldn't be completely alone. So what was your opinion when you first saw this?
I just feel that men are beginning to realize that what they do in their youth will bite them back in old age. I do not want to believe that a man who respects his wife, who adores his wife, who loves the wife, who took care of the wife, will be afraid in old age that the wife would abandon him and then go jumping from state to state. Like, I've always known that I cannot be jumping to my children's houses for Mugo. Where will I keep my husband? Who will take care of my boo? I don't get it. My mother-in-law has never slept in my house. She doesn't play with her boo. And luckily, we now had to live close to them. I think it was only once she traveled to the daughter's place in Owerri. 1 week, mommy was rushing to come back to the husband. You hear who will turn his food. Yes, they have a relationship. They are close. So if she was in a place where she had to struggle so much in that marriage, where she had to, just get by and wait till the kids are big, then she's looking for every opportunity to even abandon the man and go and enjoy herself or go and take care of and just, distract herself from her bad marriage. I'm not saying everybody that travels for Mugo has a bad marriage, but I'm just saying that when you have a good marriage as a woman, you want to be present in your home. Yes, your husband will be your priority. I always tell people, I say, I started this thing with just this guy. These children will go and leave me. My house is basically empty now, almost, because I have 2 already in boarding and just the little one. Very soon she will join them and they will leave. We will go back to how we started. Now, I am not in a hurry to leave him and be run. Anyway, he won't even leave me.
He will not even release you.
He will even release me. Because who will make my food? Who will serve me? Who will do this? Who will talk to me when I come back? Who will, So men need to pay attention to how they treat these women. And I've seen women who wait out the marriage, waiting on their children to grow. And once those kids are grown, you see those things you did to her, you will not collect. So now the fear is, let me have several wives so that if this one is vexing and that one is vexing, if you're a bad man, the 5 wives will still follow their children for Omugo and abandon you. So fix yourself, and I don't think you have that fear. Let's start from there first.
Let me hear your opinion first.
Okay, so what's the guarantee that when you marry the second wife will not also go for her own Omugo when the time comes? So how many do you want to
marry? Can marry a young one. The one that will be purifying Baba's blood. You can choose to marry a young one, and that one will not have, is not doing Omugo. That one's job is to be taking care of Baba, raise Baba's leg, warm Baba's body, so that Baba will not be cold at night.
Well, but at the end of the day, they are tagging their happiness on the woman. But I thought you are supposed to be happy. Your happiness is supposed to come from within, right? Yeah. To me, I think we go into polygamy for the wrong reasons. The reason why polygamy is there are reasons, there are laws why you should go into polygamy. This saying that people always say that men are polygamous in nature and all of those things, this polygamous in nature, they have already made men to feel that they cannot discipline themselves. They will always need a woman around to make sure to validate their, that's, okay, yes, you are polygamous in nature, so you need to have many wives and all. I think that a lot of men go into polygamy. Some of the reasons are, one, for selfish reasons.
Most cases.
Yeah, selfish reasons. Is because, okay, my wife is this, my wife is that, okay, so you are going to go and look for another woman outside. The woman too will come with her own baggage. And when she comes with her own baggage, you are faced with the same you still have the same problem. Then another reason is peer group influence. So you see, like, I've seen a lot of household men who marry more than one. If you are on a table with one that maybe just has only one wife, there's this thing they call you Mijin Hajia. This is Mijin Hajia. That means because he has only one wife, he's being controlled.
Oh, wow.
Because he has one wife. So if you have more than one, some household men that go into polygamy, right?
It's because they want to...
They want, yes. So when they are, when the matter can now, you, how many wives do you have? This one, you, how many wives do you have? This one will say, I have 2, I have 3.
The thing of pride.
So, yeah, you know. And then sometimes they go into this, into this marriage because, you know, they want to punish their first wives. Sometimes they will advise the men, they say, marry a second wife. If your wife is, you know, they're always complaining with the wife, like... yes, she's misbehaving, she's not treating him well, she's not treating him nicely. They'll say, marry a second wife. By the time you marry a second wife, they will come together, they will compete, they'll be competing for you.
You'll be
all the attention. And yes, and you know, you'll be okay and everything. So most men, there are reasons why they go into this polygamy. And at the end of the day, that happiness and that peace that they're looking for, they will not get it. They will get it later in the future. And this is what we are saying, that sometimes the wives will now decide to go.
So true. Amaka, so I know Amaka will give me the legal perspective. But really, when you read this information that Ibrahim Chata put out, an advice for men, what was the first thought that came to your mind?
Okay, now humans are innately selfish. Yeah, because we keep saying, take care of the man, take care of the man. Who takes care of the woman? My parents are basically age mates. We were classmates. They met in year 1 in university in London. My brother and his wife are basically age mates. So if the man is aging and the woman is taking care of him, who is taking care of the woman?
They will do it together.
So that's what I'm not understanding. So things like this.
It sounds a bit strange.
Things like this. These are when they say, what's your trigger? This kind of topic now my trigger. Because I don't get it. So you want to marry more than one wife for someone to take care of you. Then the woman will marry more than one husband. So that there'll be someone that can take care of her. In old age, everybody is going to age. This is her body that carried how many children for you. It will age. She needs care too. So, like what BC said, the most important thing here is building a relationship with your partner. What are you scared of? If you're a good person, I keep saying one thing on this show when we talk about relationships, marriages, and couples. Kindness, kindness, kindness. Yeah. You have to be intentionally kind, not just being a kind person. You have to be intentionally kind to your partner, to the next person, so that when something happens or during the bad times, they will remember. Nobody is perfect. You must spite the next person. You must unconsciously hurt another person by words, actions, deeds, right? But then when they remember that you're kind to them, that you're good to them, then it helps, you know, they can forgive easily. So if you're first of all not an insecure man, if you're not an unkind man, if you're not a man that beats or abuses his spouse, what are you scared of? If you're a kind person, your wife will naturally, it's natural. Women, we just we have a way of absorbing whatever emotions you give to us. And we feed it right back to you. So if you're kind to me, automatically I want to be sweet to you.
Yes.
But except you are a wicked woman.
Yes. Except that's one of the things that Amatu pointed out, that in some cases the second wife or other wives are brought in because they feel like the first one isn't, maybe she's doing something wrong and they want to spite that one. But there's something that all this conversation, all the points that Amatu highlighted alludes to, is that the fact that when people get married, when men are getting married, they're getting married because they want someone to take care of them.
Exactly.
In most cases. And when men are getting married, it is, I want to have children and all of that. So because of the purpose of that wedding, if the purpose of the wedding is, like I know someone that was just mentioned that I've not cooked in the past 3 years. I cooked for 7 years and I told myself I'm done. When I marry, the person can take over the kitchen. So if somebody has that mindset before getting married, obviously, if the woman is not available to do the cooking, somebody else shall be brought in to nurture, because the purpose of that marriage was someone to take care of me. And when that is the purpose of the marriage, it's not a case of let us take care of one another. I will replace you if you are not available to take care of me. If you are sick in the hospital, there are cases where a woman is in the hospital and somebody else has entered Oga's bed.
Yes.
Has taken over
the kitchen.
Taken over the kitchen, yes, while someone is
in the hospital.
Madam is still in the hospital. So I think that sometimes the purpose for the marriage might influence. But I want to ask a question. there are cases where men are left to suffer in the hospitals. And I think that sometimes we be more partial to our women. There was a data that came out, I think it was about 2 years ago, that more men are abandoned in the hospital, older men, than women. If a woman is under admission, a mother is under admission, the children will come, grandchildren will come, people will come and visit. But in most cases, when it is the older man, it's only the wife. And sometimes if the wife does not show up, the man is abandoned.
So what kind of seeds did the man sow when
he was young?
We always assume that children don't see. Children see and they internalize. They may not be able to speak depending on the way you're raising them, but those things just lay a foundation in their subconscious. That when they grow up, sometimes they take some decisions and they're even asking why they do. They are just not connected. You cannot raise children with your wife that are connected to you and then they abandon you in the hospital. You have to ask what did this man do, what kind of seeds. That's on one hand, Then there's also another percent of very wicked women, right? We must tell ourselves the truth. I had an experience with one far uncle at the time who had a very wicked woman as a wife. I don't know where from carry the woman come. But this man did everything for this woman. Everything for this woman. It got to a point where the woman was cutting shows, bringing them home. There was nothing she... In fact, the man died untimely, if you ask me, because of all the stress, the shame, and everything he was going through in that marriage. I know how men are. When they're going through such things, they don't share because of the shame. You are seen as the man. So, so as you be like this big man for office, you cannot your wife, your wife is doing you like this. You are not a man and everything. So they swallow it. He died in misery. So there are women like that, but I think there are very few women who would just decide to be wicked to somebody who is kind to you. Like you highlighted, what you give to a woman most of the time is what the woman gives back to you. So when they are saying they are abandoning them in old age, what relationship did you have with your children? What relationship did you have with your wife? Even if mommy is upset that I'm not going to see this man, there will be one daughter that will stand, no, I have to see my father. I have to take care of my father. Now, you don't see any family member at all and you want to blame the woman. Check yourself. Check yourself very well.
What about where we have situations, which is very common in recent times? You have 4 children. All 4. One is they are all in different continents. All in different continents, and somebody is left alone. What, as like the man is, because in some cases, my mother-in-law didn't like traveling. Like as she got older, she even road trip, even flights were begging that, just take flight. Say, no, she's not entering plane. She's not entering plane. Some people are like that. So it's not even a case of whether the man also could have traveled. It's a case that he cannot, or for whatever reason, phobia, he's stuck here. And the advice is bring in a wife to help take care of that person. And I also know there's another scenario I want us to talk about. The fact that men work so hard, and most of our fathers were not brought up to express emotion. So you will see a responsible man, but not warm, while the woman is the warm one. And the man is at work morning to evening. Who they see is their mom. The mom comes for meeting. Mommy takes me to work, to school. Mommy brings me back. Mommy comes for PTA. So I only saw mommy. I never saw daddy. Daddy is either traveling or working. But daddy is the pocket that finances everything. But they are not getting that same love. How do we start educate? Because a lot of times, with the comments you said, you just what people say, he must have done something. What if he did not do anything? What if it's just that he was working so hard and they did not see him?
So recently I was thinking that sometimes these societal values that we impose on ourselves, we need to start checking them and start, some of them we need to, like reduce how we associate ourselves with certain societal values, right? Okay, sometimes like this, the burden on men when it comes to how they should behave. Men are not allowed to be vulnerable. They are not allowed to be vulnerable. They are always, maybe when they go to work, they come back. Like, for example, my grandmom, when she was alive, I will see that my dad, everybody comes close to her. They will sit down. There's that emotional attachment. This thing is there. But you see, like the granddad, most times will be lonely. He'll be alone. He'll be growing old, and there's nobody that goes. They don't talk. They don't say their problems. They don't like communicate and say, this is what I'm going through. So there's that connection between the mother and her children. So because of that connection, it's always easier for the mother and the children to be close than the father. So the father always feels neglected. So it's time for fathers to start, they should try and start being vulnerable. Because I saw one video of one video that is circulating, that the man was saying that men commit suicide more these days because they are not vulnerable, they are not saying things. So the man was now like, yes, so the man was now like, talk to people, come out, express yourself, get somebody that you can talk to, that you can be talking to every time, so that in case of anything, you'll be able to say it out.
Let me take Yakub from Dokwemo. Mr. Yakub.
Yeah, good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, for me, I think I totally agree with this topic. Doctor, this very particular topic is very, very important to discuss. And then, if there is a resources, if man has resources, I think that is the best thing that the best decision that the person has ever taken in his life. If he has the resources, not only in woman, the person must have ability to control. He must have ability to adapt within both 2 or 3 or 4 wives. I have a reason saying this. It is true. When a man gets older and then you marry a one wife, even though if your wife, she don't want to leave you, but there's a circumstances. All those children may compare her that Mama come over. Mama, you should come over to come and do Amaka. Okay, for example, now you have 4 children, and then someone is in France, another one in UK, another one, and then the woman will now move from one continent to another. They will let me Baba alone. Let me give you a typical example that knows for every one of us, especially here in Lagos. If not that Baba take that very decision, that very, very transferable decision, which is Baba Okoya Omolade Thomas. You see, look at his wife, very young, and then look at Baba up to today, Baba Okoya Thomas. Because if Baba is going to party, you will see very young, this very particular young lady carry Baba's agbada, and also Baba is looking good. So, for me, I totally agree with this topic, and if I have the resources, it's a way to go. Apart from Islamic aspect of life, it's because Islam allowed that. You get it? Because the children will never call the Baba to come and do Amaka. Or hey, the mama say, if you don't call my husband, I'm not going anywhere. Both of us should come over. That is it. Thank you and God bless you guys.
No, before you go, Mr. Yakub, he has gone. Because I wanted to ask him that what if they employ a cook and have, like, you have a chef in the house, a nurse in the house. Does it have to be a wife that is taking care of Baba? But he's not here to answer that question. Call us back. So you're going to...
Like what she said, that children see. So even if you have a father that is constantly working, or is the sole provider within the home, and the kids are closer to their mother, the kids know who is bringing out the money.
Thank you.
The kids know who is paying their school fees. The kids know. I said, these things are always clear. They do. Within our homes, with our parents, we know when maybe daddy is struggling a bit and mom is now brings some money. Because when mom is, they bring her money, everybody will hear that they brought out some money to support.
Let me even add small. My son recently told me, but it's daddy that is bringing the money now. He asked for something. He asked for something. And I said, we don't have a budget for that. I said, but it's daddy that is bringing the money.
Exactly.
As in, I was shocked. No. And he sees all the work that I'm doing. But he knows that
is daddy
the money is small.
Because when the mother brings that money,
she must talk. Somehow,
even if she doesn't talk.
Even though somehow.
The kids know.
The kids know.
Yeah,
you understand? So if you have a father that provided, wasn't present, was working so hard, the kids will even be more sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
And then even if all your children are overseas, they can make a pool resource to get a caregiver for you. They will never abandon you. Men have trying to have another wife, like the example this man gave about Shadoka and everything. It's just about men being selfish and wanting more, right? Because if the man is married, for example, to his age mates, if he has a young woman that is making him feel young, how about what the woman?
The woman too will need a young man to
have a conversation. Two of us we have.
We will not go into that one now.
Yes, everybody's human.
Two of us we have.
Exactly.
You have your own, I have my own.
We're all human.
Let's take a break and then we'll ask our men to call that if you are having somebody helping you to warm up your blood,
Who will help madam?
First wife to have somebody to help to warm up her blood. Exactly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Exactly. 1-1.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been discussing a topic that we've discussed a few times before, but Ibrahim Chatta brought it back again, which is that for men to get comfortable with having another wife, is advising men, marry another wife so that as you are getting old, someone is available young to take care of you. And we've had a controversial caller, our regular caller actually, it's not a controversial caller, just that they called a call today, and what he said, it did not suit our body. Yakubu was of the opinion that it makes them live longer when they have a younger person, giving the example of the Okoyas, and it's also accepted within their religion. So she asked something. If the two of you are around the same age and you marry each other.
Like me now. We're around the same age. Yes. We're age grade.
Some even age mates.
Yeah.
And then as Oga is getting old, Oga is saying he needs help in the other room, but Madam is tired. Should there be a case of Amaka treating, and you know Amaka, she likes all those kind of things, that let's also have, what about the selfishness of the fact that you're not thinking somebody needs to help her out as well? That's your wife. And I asked men to please call us in and comment to let us know what you think. BC was going to attack that.
So it's different for everybody, right? There are women who their libidos are not so high. So they can get by with once in a month, even while they were young. Once a month, once 2 months, and they're fine. As they get older, they may not even have a need for it. Their mind is not focused on that, in that direction, and that's okay. And so sometimes some men now assume because there are women like this, every woman should be like that. Not every woman is like that. There are women whose libidos are very, very high. Yes. So if you happen to marry one of them and then you get to a certain age where you need somebody to refresh your blood, what about her? That's where you talked about the selfishness. Yeah. And I'm happy that we're in a generation where we can speak up. It's something I will sit you down and say, brother, myself, I need though. Are we working out an arrangement to help ourselves? Because as you are going this way now, you're not going to leave me at home. I'm waiting for you. Because by the time you go and come back, you're tired. You're not able to attend to me anymore. And then I'll not be carrying face up and down. Either I fix myself in church where I'm doing all the church activities, just to, I'm not going to do that. We're going to have a conversation, right? So people are now beginning to say, let's talk about this. Let's put the cards on the table. Talking about polygamy as well, I personally believe that polygamy was an African thing, like this part of Africa. There are other African countries that do, is it polyandry now, where the woman marries? But in this part of our own Africa, it's yes. And it worked for our forefathers and our fathers, right? Now, it's okay if you want to get into polygamy, but from the beginning, have that conversation with your first wife. Yes. That as I'm marrying you, I would like to have other wives later in the future. So that if she buys, some women don't mind. Some women, I've heard stories, they will say, please, some women bring their friends to help their husband because they cannot deal. Every time, once I'm passing, they're touching me. They touch me left, they touch me right. Me, I don't have power. They will just bring somebody to help you. Some women are like that. So know who you are marrying. Have that conversation from the beginning. If she wants to buy into it, that's fantastic. The pain is where you think we are going to be together forever, and then somebody is now coming later. You are changing the game on me when we have started. That's where the pain is.
Let me take this call from Muritala. Muritala has called from Ikoro. Oh, I'm so sorry. I actually kept him. I was enjoying your gist. I did not cut you.
And then it's so fun that people should realize that heavenly race is personal. Don't feel that when we are old, let's say we're together, and then you're going to get the small wife that is, or the small person on the side that is helping you. Then I'll be in church praying for your redemption, and it will not work. No.
You know what happens there? Let me tell you what a lot of some men, what they do is this. During their youthful time and their age, they are outside. They are busy. They will neglect their wife. They are all outside, having fun, enjoying themselves. The woman will be in the house. She will try to, she want to take care of the child and everything, and take care of the husband. But he's outside. he's enjoying himself. The woman will now condition herself. You understand? She'll have gone through emotional torture. She'll have gone through a whole lot and everything. She will now condition herself and be able to cope with the fact that he's not there.
Yeah.
Then, after he must have finished going
philandering
everywhere,
he now carry the
then
baggage.
he will now come at 60.
With the prostate cancer.
With everything, he has finished enjoying himself. Then he will now come back at the old age and be expecting a wife.
So now start nursing.
Now start taking care of him.
You now become a nurse.
So it's time for the men to start investing.
So women at that time, they will not be going to party. My Lagos women.
Hey! Every
Sunday, from Thursday, it's party back to back. Don't worry, I'll bring something for you in the house. They leave the man alone at home. But I love the fact that what we've all busy said, which is the seed you sow is what you will reap. Amaka also mentioned the importance of kindness when it comes to nurturing relationship and how that would help long term. But let's talk about those that have already caused, that damage has been done. Let me take this call before we go into those, how to help mend those that are going through damage. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Chuku.
We can hear you.
I want to contribute to the matter on ground. When I was growing up to marry, I had this family. So this man taught me how to marry a wife. And one thing the man was doing was he was reading more of friendship with his wife.
Oh.
His wife will go for Omugo. She will stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and she's back to her husband. Because why? That friendship was there. So when I was growing up, I had to do that. When I was dating my wife, I told myself, this is what I must do. Remember, when you're growing older, the man gets weaker and faster. The man gets weaker. So if you have maltreated that woman, or you feel, okay, we don't have anything, then when you get weak, who will help you up? And when you're talking about bringing someone to maybe to help you warm up and the rest of them, remember, we have culture. The man will bring out his culture, that we have culture of this and that and this and the consequences. So me, I feel for you to enjoy yourself as a married man, first of all, build friendship with your wife. Whether she has 200 children, she must remember you at least every 2 hours. I have somebody in the village. I have somebody to go and meet. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Many people have said, we've BC gave example. There's even on our comments, there were several examples of this checking in. My mom, when I use my mom is my strong support system. She's a major pillar of support because I'm always everywhere. So having her around, and my poor parents are still very active. And I know my mom sometimes during school runs, when she has taken the kids to school, she will go to the house to cook something and take care, drop something for my dad before then coming back that same day. So I'm like, and what wasn't mommy at home when this thing happened? They said, no, she went to, okay, so obviously, because there is that warmth. But now we want to address where there isn't that warmth. So how do we now help? Okay, we will later advise the men right now, the ones that are still young. You already see the handwriting on the wall. Do what you need to do. Yeah, but let's talk about those that there's a bit of damage. Maybe they're not even retired yet, but they know that there is damage in this relationship. How would we approach? I know this is the relationship person, so I'm looking at you that you should help us walk through a way of renewing the vows and refreshing that relationship that has been damaged one way or the other.
Okay, before I jump into that one, for the young people, they need to learn from their father's mistakes, right? There's nothing like I'm the man.
Let me just interrupt you so I don't miss Festus' call. Festus, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I know from the way you have been talking, you are all ladies here, and you will take time yourself. It's normal. Go to the Bible. When Sarah died, Abraham took another woman. when David was old, his counselors, they decided to look for a younger lady. And all those women that he married, they were not of the same age. So, you know, they do it for security of old age. That is what is. So you may not like it because you don't want another person to play with you. But the reality on ground is that your own mindset is not another person's mindset. Some women are very wicked,
and some are very kind.
As wives. They will train their children to love them, not to love the man. You know, it's a very bad something when your child has done something wrong. You say, I will report you to your father. Instead of you to take care of that child, you say, I will report you to your father. Then the children will now begin to hate the father. So by the time they now grow up, they will not see you that you are disciplined and you are disciplined. They see you as a wicked person and they will now love the woman. The woman will come home as an innocent somebody, using you. And then the father will come and be bullying them, trying to correct them. They will hate you. When old days comes, they will shift to their parents or to their mom. It's a sign of wickedness in the home.
Thank you, Mr. Festus. Thank you so much. I feel like I should tear into what Mr. Festus just said, but
go ahead,
because it's easy to see the speck in someone's eye and not see the log in our eye.
Exactly.
It's easy to speak about selfishness when the very thing you are saying is selfish.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like we need to also look into the mirror and see for ourselves what we are, as in listen to yourself, not with the opinion of look at it. If you are thinking that as a man gets old, it's so important for him to be so nurtured that he would be taking a second wife or taking a younger wife, and we're finding scriptural backing to support our selfish agenda. Yeah. I don't think that. I think we should listen to ourselves. And Bisi already said it, that some women are wicked, and there are many kind women as well. Yeah. Similarly, we know that it's in life, it's what you sow, you will reap. So in most cases, if you are getting wickedness at your old age, you must have some wickedness sometime in the journey. And we are all on this show always striving for a balance, even though we would mention our bias. So I think it's important that when we're commenting too, the comment doesn't just come in and say, all of you are going to support. We always try to balance, even as much as we're women.
And I want to you know, speak on what he said. He talked about the Bible, marrying a younger wife, right? So that, trying to say that purpose of the marriage is that when the man marries, you have to marry someone that is younger than you, so that when he gets to old age, you can take care, right?
You have a nurse.
So yeah, nice. And have a nurse. So now it's creating a distinction. So there's no problem, like, you know, because me, I believe that in marriage, everybody, you have your own intention of why you're coming in. So if that's the intention of some people, where you want to marry a younger woman, so that at the end of when you're old, then what you have to play your role. That means that all the roles have been defined. My own is to be Nurse Eliza, caretaker, caregiver, no problem. You, Oga, older man, provider, responsibility taker, protector, king, everything. Everybody play your role. If you play your role well, when it comes to that part, the woman will play her role.
Simple.
So if that's people's understanding of your own relationship, then that's fine. But when you don't play your role as protector, provider, and you expect Nurse Eliza to give care, it will not work.
Yeah. So, Bisi, I interrupted you to take that call.
Yes. So I wanted to touch on young men who, and I know that lots of them are waking up into not societal definition of what their role should be as men, but also understanding the dynamics of raising children. So you see a lot of fathers in schools for Father's Day. For their children's portfolio presentation, assembly presentation, daddies are getting involved. So no matter how much money you are making, you must find time to get involved in the lives of your children. We have a lot of daddies who change diaper, who back babies, who feed babies right now. It wasn't like that back in the day. Things are changing. So there is no child that will see daddy nurturing as well as mommy, and then now feel I'll have to love mommy more than I love daddy. Of course, children are naturally, tilted tilted towards the person who nursed them, but then you will see that the love has a balance. And as they grow, they begin to understand some of these things. So don't just sit down, I'm a man. My own is just I cannot wash plates, I cannot sweep, I cannot do anything. I just bring money, I go to work. I'm the only one that works. I'm the only one that flies around. I don't have time for my children. And then when the children come close to you, you can't even play with them. The role of a father is also to be a friend to the children. Your role is to carry them outside, play tire, play with your children. There's something that comes from a father playing with the children. That oxytocin, children get it when they play with their fathers. They get the oxytocin when they bond with their mother. Not play with their mother, bond with their mother, but the father play. And you don't play. Anytime they hear your voice in the house, it shouts.
Squeezing face.
He's squeezing face.
Let me take Dayo from Abuja. Good morning, welcome to the show, Dayo. Good morning. Ayo.
Good morning.
Ayo, sorry.
Ayo, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to
what a fantastic topic you have today. So, my contribution is this. From what I've read in the Bible, majority of you are Christians, and you always say, go back to the Bible. In the beginning, He created them one man, one wife. Your Bible also tells me, does nature itself not teach you? Are you hearing me? When He created lion, He created one lion, one lioness. One dog, one bitch. One cock, one hen. There was nowhere He created 2 females and 1 male, or 3 male and 1 female. No, it's 1, 1, 1, 1. But because of the selfishness of you ladies.
My chest.
Yeah. So just hear me out, please. Hear me out. You cannot eat your cake and have it.
Okay.
Every time, like I think it was Festus who said, you set the men up. Your child will misbehave. Instead of you to punish the child, correct the child, you say, I will report it to your dad. They begin to see the father somehow. Okay, now, you also mentioned that at old age, can't they just get a cook, a nanny, or something? Did the man get married to a nanny or a cook? You will tell me you are going for Omugo. You go for Omugo 6 months. Before you finish the 6 months, another one has given back. You are moving from one place to the other. The man is alone in the house, wasting away. Let me tell you, from the very first day I married my wife, we have always had house help. Are you getting it? My first daughter is back from Canada now. Are you getting it? So see my daughter have no problem. Like, fine, myself and the mother were having issues. Yes. So those are the issues.
But thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. We have realized a lot of comments on YouTube are talking about how when women come for Mugo now, mothers come with the fathers.
That's how it should be.
So the two of them are fresh. Mr. Ayo, next time you are going, your wife is going to Canada.
Follow her.
Follow her. Two of you
carry your box and go and enjoy.
Except she's running away from you.
If you
have been a wicked man from beginning,
she needs fresh air.
Just to raise her children. And two of you, when you go to your in-laws' house, you start quarreling and fighting. She will run away from you.
I want to get Ramatu. Because the two callers have mentioned it now, like it seems like mothers are twisting children against the father. I don't understand. How can they twist somebody against another person if the man is also present? Do you understand? Yes. If the man is present, they can't twist. It's not possible. I can't twist. So in most cases, if we say the mothers are twisting the children, it's because, okay, you're not there. You're not there. And then
you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
So they can manipulate your absence can be manipulated to mean anything. Yeah. So we need to have more present, which is what BC was saying, that fathers are now stepping in more. Right now, even me, I'm jealous of my husband because my children, once they, it's serious.
As in,
it's like
even me.
If I say I'm not taking you to school, they'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they prefer daddy.
Because daddy is very generous. Me, I'm doing budgets for everything.
Calculating everything.
Once he picks them up, they go and buy snacks straight. Me, I'm driving past the place. So there is an obvious, at least financially, they know that it's daddy that would be dolling out.
I can't do shakara for my kids. They say, Dad, don't worry. Mommy, don't worry. Daddy has got it. Daddy, they are so close.
So, Robert,
so what I'm just trying to say is this: the men need to come out and start getting involved in activities of the kids. It's not like the way when they were brought up, the way they were brought up, or the way the society has made it look. Now, some fathers, as soon as they give birth to their children, they also take part in, like you said, changing diapers, bathing their kids, taking their kids to school before going to work. Communicating with homework once in a while, help with homework. You need to be part of that that connection, so that in the future, later, there's a way that we will treat a woman that even when she goes for Mugo for 3 weeks, she will feel like leaving. She'll start telling, like me, if my mom comes to stay with me, by 2 weeks, she'll start telling me she needs to go back. She needs to go back
to her husband.
No matter the kind of begging, if you like beg with all your life, she's going back. And she will go back and go and meet my dad. So there's a way that you treat a woman, whether you like it or not. Once it's time, she will.
You are covered.
She will go. And you know, these men, they're always bringing out scriptures. They'll say,
my dear, you will continue with that
Solomon,
story.
Solomon had how many wives?
300 concubines.
Solomon.
No matter how many women, this, that, you know, and all. Those men, I think those things happened before the Bible and the Quran, right?
It's not even that. I think it's
the
selfishness of men that was acknowledged in the Bible. And let me take Lucky from Abuja before I start saying things that... I will say it. Mr. Lucky, welcome to the show.
Good morning, my people. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay. My contribution to what you're saying is that women are good, but the men have to learn how to handle women. No, you see, women, God has created them to take care of us. I know some men are wicked. And if you are in cooperation with your wife, right from the day you marry her, with all the children, he will project you before the children. If anything I do to my children through my wife, he will come back. Go give daddy bought clothes for you, daddy has paid your school fees. Because we have understanding. But when you are doing things, you are not carrying the woman along. The woman will deal with you. And when they deal with you, you start complaining. When you love your wife, really love your wife, the woman knows. My wife used to tell me, look, if they reconnect, he will marry me again. Because the way I marry, the way I handle her. But if you don't, the women wickedness don't get too bad.
The way they can love, they can hate.
Yes, there's one thing in my place. They don't enter killing with better eye. There's no woman that will get you without something.
Thank you so much, Mr.
It's not easy. It's not easy to bleed for days and survive.
Yes.
Which animal bleeds for days and is still alive?
Islamically, we're allowed to marry more than one, but there are conditions, right? There are conditions.
There are stiff conditions.
And one of the conditions that I know that we can hardly meet is the fact that you have to treat everybody equally. Right? Yeah. And most of these men, when they get married to a second wife and she comes, most of the time the second wife comes with an intention of unseating the first wife. Sometimes. I'm the first wife in my house. I don't want to share my husband. I won't come in because I'm a Muslim. Yes, because I'm a Muslim, yes, you're allowed to marry more than one. I'll come in with the expectation that later on I'm going to have a mate. I don't have intentions of sharing my husband. Do you understand? So when you want to do it, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel, dejected and everything. And then later on, you now want to have peace later. Sometimes when they marry that second wife, that's the beginning of war in the house. Because, of course, we are now sharing husband. There's competition, there's everything. And then there's less love for the kids. Everybody, the wives, they are all struggling to get love from the husband. And all. You don't understand? And he's just one. He's just one. And there's little, or he can't do more than himself.
So you see what this amazing man that the wife wants to marry again just said. And it boils down to that thing I keep saying. Intentionality. The way as a man, you are intentional about your career. You studied JAMB. You know what you want to study for university, say engineering. When you came out, you were intentional about the job you got, keeping your job and everything, right? Doing those manly things. The wife you want to marry, you married her. You are intentional about all these things. Why won't you also plan? Then you plan your retirement. Why won't you also plan your retirement in terms of how you treat that wife that you married? That wife that you prayed for, that God finally gave you. Yeah. Why won't you be intentional on how you treat her, on how you want your retirement to be with that woman, to have your happiness and peace? You have to be intentional.
Let's take a quick break. Honestly, we have dissected this conversation from all sides. We've given advice, those that need. I really wanted us to talk about those that are already, they know that things are damaged. You can see the way your wife is looking at you, that your punishment is loading. We'll continue after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been discussing about a topic that many people on YouTube and social media, they are really enjoying it. So really, thank you. But we have a guest co-host with us. She's a professional social worker and a psychologist with years of great track record in people, business and community development, particularly urban indigenous communities. And she's a passionate researcher. Even as we were just coming from the break, she was giving us some data. Welcome with us, Bountiful Taiwo Adelanwa.
Good morning. Good morning.
We simply call you Bountiful.
Yeah, Bountiful.
Yeah.
Bountiful.
So,
I am Bountiful.
welcome to the show. Good morning again. You've heard our conversation. I want to get your opinion because you said you did a research. Like, she just finished, in case you don't know, let me let you know. She just finished her PhD just last month, Abi?
Yeah, June 6th, I graduated.
Exactly. And our research was based on indigenous. So if you want to talk about culture, at least she understands what is local to us. Yes. Please, this thing called polygamy and having younger wives take care of older men, and is it something that is indigenous to us, and how has it benefited us?
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so one, let me lay this background. I'm Baba Beji. Whatever I say is purely professional opinion, not your view. So let me put that caveat first. So I'll be objective as much as possible. One of the foundation of our practice as a psychologist or as a social worker is that no matter any principle you handle, there's a color of culture context to it. So it doesn't matter what is this, the culture has a way of, it's fabricated into everything we do, either consciously or unconsciously. I know I did a course in social work, beautiful course. It's called Traditional Family System in Africa. Now, the traditional family system in Africa, the way it is actually, I don't know how to say it in English, but they call these Allah Shamo, Erio Shukba, all those nice moonlight stories.
Yes.
Moonlight stories. Know. Now I'll ask you, who tell moonlight story at night?
It's not the women.
It's not the women, they are cooking, it's the men.
The men.
Oh my goodness.
It's the men.
It's the men. When they go to farm and they go to work, the women most times do the lighter part of the work.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
The women, so it's a family, when you look at it in the modern spectrum now, it's a family business. The men do the production, the women do the processing and marketing of the products. So, and that's why for us in social work, and what they want about child protection, there's a difference between a daddy and a father. On the other day, we did Father's Day. Have you done Daddy's Day? I'll bring another thing to traditional family system in Africa. Why do you think we do, in Africa, why do we do, is it widowhood now? That is Thomas Shu, Lokpo.
Okay, yes.
That's
widow's rights.
Widow's right. Why do we do it? I'll ask you again. It's to provide, it's not because they want the younger bride to sleep with the woman. It's to provide the fatherly support for the child. It's so that when you go as a woman, no matter how fantastic, see, we don't like to condemn single parenthood. But I'll tell you, research has proven that any of the significant other that is present in that relationship has a stronger bond with the child. Meaning that a child in single parenthood may experience more love than a child in co-parenting. However, in the interest of the child, co-parenting is essential. But when it is inevitable,
One parent must be present.
One parent must be present.
Least.
Yes. And even when we separate, it's encouraged that you can do co-parenting where you're separate, but the child is a common interest. And that's what we always applaud Lagos for the child protection law. He's saying no matter what you do, go for the child. The best interest of the child. Now, if I don't want to come into that topic from child parenting, but let's look at it from culture. That a man marries another woman, you see, we should be honest with ourselves. Research has proven that the older we grow, the lower our libido comes. But also research has proven that, for majority, how low is relative. You know, psychologically, we move on a spectrum. So we move, I might be here, and you might be 10, 5, but the higher we go, the older the age, the lower the libido. Now I ask you, research has also proven that it is going lower in women faster than men most times. Yes.
The women of these days.
However, so that is what we call now. That's what I talk about, the dynamic nature of culture. Now the trend is changing.
It's changing, though. Women.
So our mommies now, we tell them, I'm doing it like kind of advocacy on her now, saying, "Mommy, please provide for daddy in the other room." Now that daddy is active, because the women of nowadays now, I joke about with my aunties in 50s that rascality starts at 50, then full-fledged rascality is at 60.
It's correct. It's cooking from 40. It's actually cooking from 40.
I'm telling you, you
know that does Gatsby. I know that does steam party.
Yes.
I went to one on, I think 2 weeks ago, and then it was an all-white party. I just look at the woman. You know what she's wearing? A kimono and a palazzo.
Before.
Yes.
You know?
And I look at the woman. In fact, that day, I was only doing observatory analysis. Like I was reading, I research. I'm more of a practitioner and a research than any other thing. And then I was looking at the woman. I said, truly, rascality starts at 50. Then in full fledged, the lines. So you look at RMD. When he did that, his 60th birthday. Do you see what that man did? Rascality start at that age. And then at 60, you now get the full license.
To do anyhow.
You become an authority. And then when we now look at developmental psychology, life stages, and how people, all the theories you want to prove. The difference between me...
Let me ask you a question.
Well,
let me just ask something.
Okay.
The statistics, yes. The statistics we have that the libido reduces in women, could that statistics have come from a place where society had already molded women to manage that expectation? Hold on.
Okay.
To manage that expectation. And so because they have managed it over and over and over, it just starts declining. Not that is the natural nature of women.
Yes.
Because even back in the day, we had women who did not allow society, a few of them at the time, who were bold enough to challenge what society had placed, the bar society had placed on them. And their libido level was different from the traditional woman who has accepted that this is the way life should be.
So she's saying
and
that
now women are waking up. Yes, women are waking up to the truth of their nature.
Yes. Medical enhancers.
After
menopause.
Yes, even after. Okay, aside from even that, they are waking up now to see that, oh, my body can actually respond like this. A lot of women do not even understand their body in the first place. Some are understanding their body now. I can still feel this way. Yeah. And could that be could that be the reason it's now looking like there's a change in the statistics that we have always known?
Okay, thank you. Let me applaud you. So just face the camera and tell my professor in Unilag that I just finished my new assignment.
Are you serious?
So my new research now is looking at the sociocultural dynamics. Now, and what you just did now is explaining the sociocultural dynamics of stereotypes.
Yes.
Because you were told you're a woman, you are going to a woman's house, you don't need to do this, you don't need to go to school, we're only learning crocheting. Now that you know that you're a woman, you can be all that you can be. Then I'm having 2 masters, 1 PhD, and everybody knows that the second one is already rearing his head. You understand? And that's why you're here. You're a serial entrepreneur, and you're still here. Now, you are very correct. And that's why I said earlier that that's the dynamic nature of culture. The society also is dynamic. And the dynamic nature of culture is, the pace now is changing faster. Now, the United Nations has also told us now that the more indigenous community will become urbanized. And by 2040, you have more than 50% of indigenous communities now becoming an urban center. Now, as this happens, they don't happen in isolation. There's a lot of things changing.
The mindsets.
When I finished, the day I finished my PhD graduation, the Monday I traveled to Ife to do a course on gender and development. And I was like, why am I doing that? Because when I was doing that research, I found that there's a gender dimension to every phenomenon. I was studying poverty. And then I read that there's a gender dimension to poverty. When you read culture, there's a gender dimension to it. So I wanted to see. So when I was going there, I don't like feminism. Because I believe if you're a woman, and you believe in yourself, and you build your self-esteem, and you invest in yourself, I don't know who can put you down.
Exactly.
I don't know. So I don't really do much in feminism. But when I went for that course in Ile-Ife, I found out, in OAU, I found out that the gender mainstream is saying, can we extract every issue by all genders? That's what that's a new direction now. Initially it was equity for the women and all that. But now it's saying, take the lens, look at it from the male angle, drop it.
From the female angle.
Look at it from the female angle, drop it.
We never got a chance.
Yes.
They never
Men don't allow.
So let me tell you, let's not take it from where we are. Where are we coming from? We were not there. I posted a video on my status yesterday of one of my presentations and saying, policies in gender issues or policies and gender, we don't have a voice. We weren't there.
Yeah. Even now, how many of women are
even in religion?
People are talking about the 35% affirmative action. We're already at 50%.
Yes.
But here we have not even achieved 35%. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen the video recently. I was training in a country where they were talking about female genital mutilation again. Look at that parliament I was discussing it. How many percent of them are women?
So they don't understand it and they cannot
speak from that perspective. When we now take this issue, let's extract. So this polygamy issue, let's extract
from the perspective of the
woman.
Because from the men's perspective,
and the man, please, I'm balancing it. From the woman and the man. And I think one of your callers balanced it for me. Yeah. Let's have a discussion. Let's agree. I'm still missing my late stepmother. I think recently last week, I still weep when I remember her. She died about 20 years ago, but I still weep. I have that strong feeling that if my stepmother is alive, I should have done more with my life than this. My mother is fantastic. She's the best thing I've ever had. But I love my stepmother. I love my mom so much.
Able to balance it?
No, because she is. That's all. In every phenomenon you're also discussing, the personality involved also matters. I tell my husband, you can do everything, but I can't deal with with another wife with my children.
Forget about if like this.
Leave the side. Forget about me. You don't like my own principle. I may be wrong. I don't believe in. I'm not asking you for too much of love me. I love you. I'm only asking be responsible towards me. When a man is responsible towards a woman, it is naturally easier for most women to love and love sincerely. When a woman is responsible towards the man, it is easier for the man to drop the usual narrative. And then they begin to say, somebody said, I think say in Hausa, and they'll say he's husband of one wife. If you get the satisfaction where he is,
what's he looking for?
What's he looking for?
Why go abroad?
Even if he's someone that now has higher libido and you cannot satisfy the person, do you not check it when you're coming in? As a counselor, I tell people when they come for marriage counselor.
They should do first.
When they come, it's not allowed. I'm a day star member.
Please.
They're not carrying church. They're not carrying church on the matter again.
What I want to say, let me see what I'm saying. What I want to say is this. When we want to get married, one of my core principle, our own standard of procedure in counseling, in my own organization is, look at him very well, look at her very well.
Okay.
How far have you seen? You cannot see it all. You can date for 20 years and that person just draw a card one day and then you're taking.
How do you check that stuff?
So, what's your pass mark? My pass mark is 75. Does it mean 75? The other things that are not so, it might meet 100 and the 0.1 that is missing is the most important thing to me.
Your deal breaker.
So, do you get your deal breaker? Remove it. Then other things can you trade off? Then we are good to go. So in everything there are trade-offs. So if it's not only you can trade off, then
but how do we check? How do we check that thing? Doctor, jester, doctor, pastor. How do we check? How do we check that thing that is working?
So before you see self.
Because I'm the unmarried one. Yeah,
one of the things where that cause lack of congruence is one, know yourself.
Okay.
The Quran says, know me before you serve me.
Okay.
If you know me, if you don't know me, how do you serve me? That's what the Quran says. And the Bible also says, find the truth and hold that which is. So my own is, what are your scorecards? Who are you? My own first problem now is my freedom.
Okay.
I can't be contained. Naturally, I don't know why, but I understand that I can't be contained. And the older I go, the more I see that I can't be contained. Yeah. Now, can you deal with a successful woman? If you cannot deal with a successful woman, you may not be able to deal with me.
I know these things are talking
about. That was
about the libido one.
So the libido one.
She's just going like this.
I answered you from the beginning. I said the narrative is changing. Now, for you, you're busy.
My sister,
but you've given your...
Let me help you with this libido matter.
I don't understand, Mr. Bountiful. You're just going like this. You want to confuse me, the single one.
No.
Don't confuse me.
It's important to know that everything can be treated. Libido can be dealt with if you have a willing partner.
If it's not a problem, why do you want to deal with it?
If it's
not a problem,
yes, you can deal with it. Like if you have there are cases where you have married someone that it seems like you are unequal in terms of libido.
Yes. So how do you raise the person's
communication has been done.
There are medications.
Raise it.
Yes.
Yes, there are medications.
Not style to be raised.
No.
Because everybody likes it.
No, BC, let me land. Because we're helping people that are at home now and feel like we are unequally yoked. So I need to help myself outside. And many of them are using that as an excuse to cheat and philander. I believe that if the willing partner, in most cases, where the problem happens is that one person wants to do, second person say, I can't be bothered. If somebody wants to do and you are not in the mood, you need to be willing to do the work to get in that mood. You need to be willing to do the work, which means I'm studying my lifestyle, I'm studying my eating pattern, I'm studying what I need to do because I want to commit to helping my husband, or the husband is saying, I want to commit to help my wife. But if you are not willing to do the work, it cannot be work done. There are sex therapists now.
Let me say this. Okay, let me say this. You see, on the libido matters, I will not encourage you to do before marriage. Okay. But if you feel comfortable to do, I am not a pastor.
Or because you are...
she's going there. I am saying I'm going there. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel comfortable not to do, don't. Okay. But if you feel you want to do. I am not a pastor here. Now, on the libido matter, even if we don't do before marriage, can we discuss it? Okay. We should always discuss it. I remember I had a suitor then before marriage, and then the person was talking, and the way he was talking, like, this market can't work. You know, the way he was priming himself and saying, and I looked at it and said, this is not what I'm looking for. I may not be, in fact, I say it openly, I may not be that sexual person. Maybe because of my energy is going into so many things. But I bring up my game to meet up with my partner because I feel comfortable with it. But don't forget that sex starts from the brain for a woman. So if my brain is not there, no matter how you say eat right, eat this, if I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it. And that's what we're advocating. Our law here has not put place for spousal rape. That my husband, I woke up and my husband opened, and then I found out that he dealt with me, and I didn't give consent. I can't still go to court and report and get justice from sleep. Look, you meet me at bus stop. You cannot catch train in Nagege when it's moving now. You're already there. I'm sleeping. Then you just come and then come on top. And what about my own journey to get you? You have to take me to the bus stop, and then we travel together.
Can I interject? Okay, can I interject?
That's not therapy. It's pure understanding.
No, but can I interject? First of all, I don't know anybody, any man that's going to buy a car without testing that car or without yes, let me land now. It's my own turn to talk. I went to buy the car, men that love cars, without doing research on that car. They'll tell you the engine, the speed, the kiniko.
Without test driving.
Without test driving it and buying. So me, I don't believe in buying a car that or that I not test one. So when it comes to libido, yes, I'm very emphatic. Look at me, I will test it. I know what I'm getting into, but I don't want to cheat. Then two, is that kindness. I come back to that thing I keep saying. Kindness and intentionality. Gifts open up a way and doors for a man. If your wife's libido is low, it is so easy to raise. Women, we like gifts, we like happiness, we like sweet, small things.
Soft life.
Soft life. When you're coming back, now, if I like a mango now, you buy mango if you sit. Now, by the time I lick my mango, I now say, baby, come here. I will come.
No, you don't even need to say baby.
You don't even need to say baby. I'll be so excited. If it's chewing gum that I like, buy chewing gum. You don't have to be, it mustn't be the expensive things, but be intentional about that door that you want to knock on. Please, massage it, oil it so that it can
say,
open.
if you want to step on a cold ground, you pour water in advance. But I'm still a proponent of therapy, sex therapists help. They help because they raise their awareness. Some women have trauma which has led to their low libido.
Yes. Low libido, yeah.
And in some cases, some men have medical condition which has led to their own low libido. So if the men are able to deal with the medical condition, women are dealing with their trauma, or even men dealing with their trauma. Some men have their first exposure is with a maid or in funny, kinky way.
Or even rape.
In rape. Funny. So it has distorted how they want to do things that they feel they cannot do in their matrimonial bed. And so it disturbs the flow of what they want to do. It is extremely important for both parties to have a conversation around how we are going to resolve this issue, because we are together for
That's for those ones that are married, right?
For the ones married. I am of the opinion that we do not sample, that when we have entered...
Of course.
You don't have
because
the moral
my own culture
to say this.
Excuse me. Sister, I'm arranging my clothes.
Let me
because you can enter, finish, and in the beginning, everything is 100.
Yes.
And then you get pregnant and life changes for you. Yeah. So you will always still have to deal with imbalance in that space.
Of course.
So what you have to prepare yourself to manage the reality of what happened.
Yes.
One of my friends is dealing with premenopause. So all of us now, we are studying premenopause. We went to watch Ketensha's video. Oh, what are the hormone replacement therapy that you can use, exercising, all of those things, because at that point in time, your body is changing. When you are pregnant, body change. Breastfeeding, body change. So that constant change means that you can't fight the change. Hormones will go up and down. When a guy is going through stress at work, he is not interested.
Yes.
So you must find a way in some cases. And sometimes it is in that time that he is very interested as a way to compensate for the challenges he's facing. So it means that at that point in time, there will be difference. Yes, so each party must be willing to work and manage those differences. Yes. Our topic has nothing to do with Zaroom. But this, my wonderful ladies.
Can I add a balance? Can I add a balance?
You see,
before we get to therapy, I think education is important. Yeah. This is an issue that we don't discuss. Mommies don't sit their children down to tell them. Daddies don't. You see, sometimes I was doing a peer review, not peer, because they hold that colleague, and we were doing a study review yesterday, and I said, when a man markets himself, and okay, let me give the analogy I gave. I said, you're my professor, and I know your style when it comes to exam. This professor only wants to see that you get the crux of the knowledge. He doesn't care when you can explain or you cannot explain. So he give you case study, and then if you know the word he's talking, you get it. Now, I've seen other professors who want you to show that you have read encyclopedia, you have finished the whole of all the theology, everything that is available on APA and all that. And I know some people says that, I have a lecturer who says, read extensively and exhaustively. That's one of the worst words I've ever heard in my life.
Exhaustively.
Yeah, you must read until there's nothing new to read again. That's a style. It's a beautiful place to be. Now, but on this, now, if I now go to an examination and I'm answering Dr. Akinwale's exam, who says read extensively and exhaustively, and I'm writing like my professor's exam, who just want to show that, show me that you know it, I'll fail. So when guys, let's say the truth here, a lot of men think they know and they don't know.
Hey, what is your kubiko?
Bam.
Drop the mic. Drop it.
Okay, but you see, like in my culture, we don't discuss. You can't discuss
things like this.
There are safe channels. There are safe channels.
You can't because okay. So even if you do all these things before marriage, how many do you want to test before you get married?
Exactly.
Okay, this is
that's the criteria.
We all agree the social challenge.
That's the criteria.
We are now creating opportunity for another person who can be their own calling to say, can I do sex education? Can you churn out, apropos, I don't know if it's allowed, churn out content every day?
Concerning this area.
Concerning this area. So, and you see, another thing about culture, they know. They don't know, and they don't know, and they don't want to learn.
Yes. Unconscious incompetence.
Okay, you said it, I did not say it too. You know? So when we go home, we both face our music. But you know, they don't know, but they think they know. You know, I'll say this as simple as this. There's a psychological condition called vaginismus. And the man is coming. Let me even say aerosport now. Let me even come simple. Aerosport. You're coming and you're starting from... Oh, I'm sorry. You're starting from the bottom. You know what I mean by the button? And I hate you touch the button.
So we must give communication.
Give communication. I know where to start. Because some people want to use the microphone now. And then you start from the crown of the microphone. I have read on YouTube now that you don't start from the crown of the microphone.
This my fellow church member. If
I want to become born again. I've changed.
We are going to take this show from breakfast to dinner.
So education is what we're talking about. Please, men, go and learn.
Looking at it from the lens of men.
Yes.
Let me speak for you, men. Men need feedback. If you do not give me accurate feedback, I would think I am doing the right thing.
You will frame me by giving accurate feedback. You will frame me by... Now you are framing me already. That I know too much. Now if you give, you judge us.
That's why we...
There is this judgment. So I beg, help yourself, I'll help myself. When I don't encourage pornography. But when you go on YouTube, how to satisfy your husband is available.
How do men too? Do they check how
that is what I'm advocating. That's what I'm saying now. Go and check. I check.
That's not our topic.
So can I just bring
you ask me the question?
No. I want to go to her. I want to, because I feel like I need to bring you back to discuss Women We Love Wednesday, because I'd like to understand how you have 2 masters, and you said Beji, which means you have
3 boys.
You have
3 boys.
Wow. You're really bountiful.
I have twins and Libido.
That's good.
Exactly the way I have 2 boys and Idowu.
Yeah.
So, and then you are doing 2 masters, and then you've done PhD, and then you want to still do another one. And I would like, because some women are looking at it that when you have children, they feel it has shut down, or not that they feel, they are overwhelmed. Literally overwhelmed by the mothering stage of their life. So I really wanted to talk to you more about it. Are there a few things that you will help equip us with to help us handle?
The first and foremost is find yourself. Who are you? What's your purpose? What drives you? I just finished my PhD, Doctor of Social Work, and the feeling is leaving me with. I get overwhelmed when I talk about it. I wasn't looking, I was looking for a research. I was looking for my findings. I was looking for evidence-based solution to the socioeconomic stability of indigenous communities. I wasn't looking for the title. I got what I want, and I got the title. Now, when it comes to us as women, we all have, I tell people, everybody has their own problem. Type and time may differ, but we all have what we're going through. I didn't have it smooth in motherhood. My first child, we lost her about 2 years. I waited again, 5 miscarriages in a row, and then, I have to be on hormone, I have to be on Dufastone. I had a 40 kg with the twins. I've been obese all my life, but I had a 40 kg on the twins. I'm battling with that. Then I just shed weight. We're doing dieting to conceive. There's a womb lining and cholesterol, and then I shed 22 kg. Then pregnancy came and said, it's precious, so you have to be on the bed. And I carried the pregnancy for 8.5 months. I lived in the hospital for 5.5 months.
Wow.
And whenever I had the twins, I had postpartum depression. My mother doesn't know what it's called. People around don't know what it's called. And about the time we were going for, I think I just called my best friend. I said, babe, we've been out of university for about 4 or 5 years. What are we doing? Let's do our masters. Let's do so. We went to Unilag. I said, I've always wanted to do. So I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do counseling. But my parents said, you are brilliant, go and do medicine. And then they wasted all the years. But I appreciate them. The experience also counts now. So when I'm doing my psychotherapy or I'm doing chemical studies, I understand what I'm talking about. So I went all the way. And then just being who I am, because I know myself. I was an intern at a hospital. I'm St. Nicholas then. And then they run an open system. So I just go to the MD's office and say, sir, please, I want to see you. And I observe the environment, and these are my findings.
Research.
And then I go there, and I was even so young, I don't even know what it's called. I was just in my 20s, early 20s. And I'll go again and say, sir, I did, now I know what it's called. It's called haphazard interview. I ask questions from my HOD and everybody, and this is what I found out. And I go in to tell the man, and the man just opened the door, and the man will tell me, one day he said, who are you? And I said, I'm the little girl in the lab. What are you doing here? Because what you are telling us for free, we are paying our consultant, and we're not getting it.
Wow.
And then he referred me to say a career consultant. I'm just a pure agege girl. I don't know who a career consultant is. So, but then because I know what I was looking for, I was born and brought up in a particular church. And I know this church will not take me to where I'm going. I left my church. With the man I most likely will come back. But then this time was where they were doing training. So that's far. The way the people, and then all my friends in the developmental space, human capacity training, they will tell you they went to do DLA, they went to Daystar. So please show me where is Daystar. I wanted to go there and then learn. So, and one day I said, go to Daystar. I heard that one and I went there. And when we go to this, so I read one book from Oyakilome. Oyakilome said...
It's paining me now that we're discussing, see what we should be discussing. We are almost out of time. We have to round up in like 2 minutes.
Okay, so by the time Oyakilome read, in one of his books I read, he said, 10 students can read one book. But what everybody is reading is different. Same book, but different. So when I go to church and they are doing sermon, born against my want to read sermon. For me, every sermon in this is a training model. And I was jotting my model. I just come and put it on my PowerPoint and I'm good to go. And I just do more research. So I know what I wanted. My core is people, community, and business development. You cannot develop people without talking about their economic capacity.
So true.
And I don't want to start development from here. I know you need it too. But there are people who need this opportunity and they can't get it. From that moment, that man told me to do my analysis and found out, okay, what I want to do was to help. So I began to find where can I help. Then I found out, all I know there was MTN Foundation. And I went and I said, oh, we're only granting office, we don't do projects. Oh yeah, who do you grant to the adults? Okay, they mentioned Jan and Faith Foundation. I know myself.
You went there.
I don't like to deal with children. I didn't go to Jan. I went to Faith. And that was the best thing that happened to my life. I met female bosses who fan
the flame
and the hunger. And they are still nurturing it. And so when I feel confused in my life, whether I want to meet my mentor, my ET then at Faith, I said, ma,
we're going to bring you, honestly,
we're going to bring you so that you come and talk.
Bring you back. And we're bringing you back to talk because you have touched on, we've discussed a whole lot today. And I want to appreciate all our audience, our viewers that have been commenting on YouTube, Facebook, even calling. Amazing. Bountiful, you are coming back. And that's to talk about self-discovery, exploring, personal mastery, personal mastery. And I kept hearing that you kept using your gifts, and that was how you now got to the point that somebody could advise you to do career and all of that. So we would definitely want to dig more. There are many women watching that would love to know how you got over postpartum depression and how you're dealing with weight and all of those things. There's a whole lot to uncover, and yet still find personal fulfillment. Wow. What a way to end this Friday. But don't forget, we still have a full show on Your View Pigeon tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, ladies, for a very...
Thank you. Happy birthday to Mariah.
Engagement.
Happy birthday,
Mariah. Mariah is, her birthday is tomorrow. So Mariam is next, and all of that. We'll see you on Monday. Stay with... we're not stay with us, so enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye.